Thank you. For a large number of years, Franklin Park has been considering home rule. And so, November 2nd, and we created this PowerPoint presentation that will allow you to understand a little bit further. The question will appear on the ballot: shall the village of Franklin Park become home rule unit? What is home rule? Home rule allows communities to make more decisions locally without getting permission from the state government or Cook County. In Illinois, villages under 25,000 population are not automatically home rule. And must ask voters to approve becoming home rule through a referendum. 70% of Illinois citizens are now governed by home rule. Home rule gives greater local control without state interference and red tape. Home rule lets us make decisions faster and with more flexibility. For example, we've got a Super 8 motel over on Manheim that is requiring demolition. We'll get a demolition permit from the court, so the court decides that. That's the case now, and that will be the case after home rule. The period of time for which we have to demolish it will be shortened if we're home rule. Home rule allows us to provide incentives to business to locate and invest in Franklin Park. Home rule communities are proven to be less dependent on property taxes. Home rule communities rely on 10 to 20% of their revenues from property taxes. Non-home rule communities rely on 25 to 30% of their revenue from property taxes. So home rule communities are less reliant on property taxes. That's according to a survey by the Office of the Illinois Consul. Communities without home rule, Franklin Park, experienced a 61% faster increase in the tax rate, and that's according to the Journal of Public Economics. What home rule does not automatically do? We've heard a number of people calling and say, you know, someone told me that home rule does this and home rule does that, so we decided to list as many of them as we could, and I can add a couple more from things I've heard today. Home rule does not increase the village's portions of property taxes. In Franklin Park, it will reduce property taxes for residents. Home rule does not impose any new utility tax on residents. Home rule does not institute a real estate transfer tax. So if you're selling your home in Franklin Park, whether it's before we're home rule or after we're home rule, there is no transfer tax. What home rule does not automatically do also is home rule does not require homeowners to paint their homes. Some person suggested we're going to be able to tell them the color that they can paint their home. And that is not the case now, nor will it be the case after home rule. Right. And it may sound foolish to some, but we wanted to make sure that we got those out there. It does not allow us to impose aesthetic changes to your property. Home rule does not force residents to turn in their registered firearms. Believe it or not, there's people who think home rule has something to do with that. Home rule does not grant the village eminent domain authority over your property. And eminent domain is condemnation. Home rule does not grant the village additional condemnation powers. There is no easy way of taking people's property. It does not make it any easier to be home rule. If you're home rule or not home rule, you still have to go through the court. How home rule helps financially. Without home rule, the village has no ability to increase the general revenue fund except to raise property taxes. Without home rule, the entire tax burden is on the homeowner. With home rule, the tax burden is shared because more revenue comes from non-residents. When Franklin Park makes a decision to stop Springfield, we can decrease dependence on property taxes, rebate 20% of the village portion of the residential real estate taxes annually for 3 years. North Lake, Schiller Park, Norridge, Elmwood Park, Norwell Park, River Grove, and Rosemont all receive a 1% sales tax. With home rule, Franklin Park could increase annual revenue by $1.8 million, and you'll note the footnote, Norwell Park and River Grove are not home rule, but they pass non-home rule sales tax in Norwell Park and River Grove. With the funds that we would receive from non-residents, approximately $630,000, 60.47% of that is going to go to reduce your garbage fees, and 32.17 of it is going to go to the property tax rebate. If Franklin Park becomes home rule, local officials will reduce the garbage fees by $240 per year, eliminate garbage fees for all seniors, and continue senior snow removal and lawn mowing. Home rule savings to homeowners. These are non-senior citizens. Average is $100 to $150 property tax rebate to residents for 3 years. That's 20% of the village's portion of the property taxes. $240 in savings on the garbage fees per year, $20 per month times 12 months. So the savings is $340 to $390 savings per year. Average savings is up to $1,200 over a 3-year period. Home rule savings to seniors with less than $55,000 of household annual income. The average, again, 150 property tax rebate to residents for 3 years. That's 20% of the village's portion of the property taxes. $60 in savings on garbage fees per year because we're eliminating the $5 monthly fee. We've continued the lawn mowing and snow removal services, estimated value of about $484. That's 13 lawn cuts and approximately 12 snow removals. Annual savings $644 to $694 savings per year. Average savings is up to $2,100 over a 3-year period. Home rule savings to seniors with more than $55,000, and so that's for my neighbor who probably would not want his name mentioned here. Average $100 to $150 property tax rebate to residents for 3 years. $300 savings on garbage fees